it just got worse. Need this or this after this. Giving Rivals to Lovers is Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel, or hey if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today's video is going to be a reading vlog and it's going to be books that you have chosen for me to read. So a few weeks ago I put up a poll on the community section of my YouTube channel and I basically asked this book or that book. And you guys chose the books that I'm going to be reading. So this is going to be the vlog of those books. We will quickly run through the stats of the results. Okay, so I asked, should I read The Great Alone by Kristin Hannah or The Fraud by Zadie Smith? So we have The Great Alone by Kristin Hannah and then this is The Fraud by Zadie Smith. I asked which one. I kind of picked these two together because they're more like historical fiction vibes. They're kind of set years ago and I just felt like out of the two that was on my monthly TBR, these ones just made the most sense to put together. So we have these two. As we know, The Great Alone is one that I have wanted to read for a while. Kristin Hannah made me sob with The Nightingale and I've been just absolutely so eager to get to another one of her books. And then The Fraud by Zadie Smith has been on my TBR for so long at this point. I am concerned. I need to read it this month. Like, regardless of whether it's one or not, I just feel like I need to read it. It's been on my TBR too long and I'm very intrigued to see if I will like it or not. And The Great Alone won by 89%, guys. The Fraud only got 11% of votes. Can we see this? Like, 89%, that is crazy. You guys really wanted me to read The Great Alone, which I'm not complaining about. This is a book that I have wanted to read for so long. I mean, I've got The Nightingale right here. This one was a 5-star, it made me sob, so hopefully this one will be a 5-star also. This one is set in the 70s and it's about a family who, I don't really know too much, but it's about a family who have moved to Alaska following the Vietnam War. I think the dad was a soldier in the Vietnam War and they've moved to Alaska to sort of just have a fresh start, I think, like just live in a new place, in a new area. And I think we're following the mum, the dad and the daughter's POVs. So I'm very intrigued about this one because I feel like this one, The Four Winds and The Nightingale are kind of the ones that are most talked about for Kristin Hannah, and The Women because that's her latest release, but I feel like those three are like the three. They're the big three. Okay, then I asked, should I read Check a Mate by Ali Hazelwood or If You Could Go Anywhere by Paige Toon? And then this one kind of messed up because in my last reading vlog I did a bookish scavenger hunt and the only book that I could read with the prompts that had chosen for me was Check a Mate. So I have already read that in a different vlog. Sorry, but I've already read it, so you know, we had to ask the poll again, but just for reference, Check a Mate would have won. It got 78%, and If You Could Go Anywhere got 22%. A lawnmower has just started up, please. No, not right now. Okay, hopefully you can't hear the lawnmower too much. It's rather loud actually. Okay, where were we? I feel like it's quiet enough now to continue. So I actually put up another poll because obviously I'd already read the chosen book and I thought to keep it fair I would include another Ali Hazelwood book. So I said, which book should I read? Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood or If You Could Go Anywhere by Paige Toon. So these are the options that I put up. I just felt like since I already had another Ali Hazelwood book on my TBR, I might as well choose another one of her books to kind of keep it fair, keep it sort of the same as the first poll. And these two are ones that I feel like match up the best from my TBR. They're just both like sweet rom-com-y type books. So we have Love on the Brain, which is another one of her STEM romances. I have read pretty much all of the STEM romances, I think, other than the novellas. So this one was one I was definitely intrigued by. I have heard it's very similar to like The Love Hypothesis and things like that, but I've not read a STEM romance from her in a while, so I feel like it's gonna hit because I've not read one in a while. I think you have to space them out. And then If You Could Go Anywhere by Paige Toon is a super sweet rom-com vibe. It's about a girl who goes on a adventure to find her lost family that she's not spoken to in a while or ever, and I think along the way as she's travelling she finds a companion. So the results are in, and Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood won by 70%, and this book only got 30% of votes. So the next book we'll be reading is Love on the Brain. And the final poll that I put up was between Her Greatest Mistake by Hannah Cohen, which I do have here, and The Play by Elle Kennedy. I was very shocked with the results of this one. I honestly thought that this book would win. I don't know why, I just kind of thought it would win. I don't really know the reasoning behind that. This one won with 69% of votes, and Her Greatest Mistake had 31% of votes, so it was quite a drastic results. I feel like all of the polls were very drastic. They weren't like neck and neck, it was all very much like this is the book. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, this is the one that won and this is the one that lost. This one is an ice hockey romance. It's the first book in a series by Hannah Cohen that kind of follows a family of siblings, and we see their different romances. And then The Play is the third book in the Briar You series. It's been a long time since I've picked up another Briar You book, and it's definitely like the chunkiest book in the series, I think, and I'm not really too sure what to expect. I think these books are just very easy, bingeable, fun, enjoyable times, and I'll probably need this or this after this. So these books are probably going to come in very handy. I wouldn't say that the Briar You series is like my favourite series in the world, but it's definitely a fun time. And I felt like out of my TBR, these two kind of were very fair, like very similar, because they're both ice hockey, sports, romances. So these three books are the books that you guys have chosen for me to read in this reading vlog, and we're going to go ahead now and get reading. Hopefully we will have a good time. We definitely have some variety. We've got a STEM romance, we've got a sports romance, and then we've got sort of like a historical fiction, sad type of story. So I'm definitely gonna have a very varied experience with these, and I'm super excited to get reading. Time to do an update. I didn't do any updates yesterday, so it is Tuesday now. I didn't do any updates yesterday, but I did do a massive chunk of reading. I just quite simply didn't pick up the camera to update my thoughts and feelings, but I have now officially made it to chapter 22, page 302. So with that much into it, we've got this much left. And so far, we have a lot to unpack. There has been some crazy developments in the plot in the book. It is not what I expected at all. I'm not sure what I expected. So I will have obviously said kind of in the intro what I kind of went into it feeling like it was going to be. But this book basically follows a guy called Ernst, and he was in the Vietnam War. He has come back from the Vietnam War, a changed man, obviously. He's not the same guy as he used to be. He's very different. So basically he gets a letter from a guy one day, and he opens it and it says, "I am blah blah blah's dad, and he has left you his house in Alaska." So the guy that left him the house was someone that he worked alongside in the war, and I think they was like good friends and things like that. And the guy like ripped to his dad and said, you know, whatever happens to me, leave my house to Ernst. So now Ernst has this like bright idea. He's going to move his family, his wife and his daughter, up to Alaska, and they're basically going to live there sufficiently, they're going to be detached from the outside world, and that just sounds perfect to him. He is like, yes, that's what I want. I don't want to be, you know, walking around in this world where everyone knows what I've done and what's happened and all this stuff. He doesn't want to be there. So he moves his family to Alaska, and then we're kind of seeing them start to try and live there with very different living conditions. They're like hunting their own food, it's very cold, they have to be on the lookout for danger at all times, and it's just a very different way of life, and it feels very like detached from reality and detached from the outer world. So it's told from a point of view of the daughter. She is 13 when we start, and it's told from her point of view, so we're seeing how she is kind of just being like dragged along. She has no say in the matter, obviously, and it's just from her point of view, which I do find interesting, because I think seeing it from a child's point of view just kind of opens up a whole new lens that usually we would kind of get it from an adult's point of view and we would see what they're thinking, but seeing it from a child who has no control whatsoever is very interesting. And also we kind of see how she has such a strong bond with her mum, and she like thinks like she has to protect her mum, which is obviously very flawed logic. And yeah, so far it's very, very interesting. I feel like I should have done like a halfway talking clip, because there's so much to unpack right now that I'm forgetting what to say. But in this small town in Alaska, there is like a tight-knit community of people. So we meet some side characters, which is really nice. And we kind of see the whole little town and how their role works within the town and who has connections to each other and things like that, which is also fun. And I think that is a good aspect of this book. The way that Kristin Hannah writes is so well done. She just knows how to tell a story so well. Like I was captured from, is that the right saying? Probably not. I was engaged. It captured my attention from the very start, and I just feel like the way that she writes and the adjectives that she uses and how she describes things just really tells the story so well. She really fleshes out the characters, and she really sort of just creates this whole thing that feels so real. It feels like it's being told from an actual person instead of a character that she has made up. And we do also, so we see like this amount at the beginning is like 1974, and then we go to 1978. So we see Lenny, the main child, she is 13 when it starts, and then it jumps to when she's 17. So we don't really see the 4 years in between, but we do see when she's that age and when she's first moved there, and then when she's older she's got more of like a broader view on things. She sort of knows more what she wants. She's starting to realise that her life isn't fair, and also there is a huge plot of an abusive relationship. The main guy, he is very abusive to the wife, so go in with that in mind, maybe check trigger warnings, but that is a very strong plot line to this book. And seeing Ern, he is so frustrating. He is, honestly, my stress levels just rise. He appears on the page, I am just like I just know there's going to be some amount of drama, and it's just, I'm like, please don't let anything bad happen. But yeah, that is when it's set. It's set in 1974, so it's set in the 70s, and I just think it's a really interesting book so far. I'm loving it. I will finish this today, and then I'll check back in later with my full review at the end. I have only read one of the book by Kristin Hannah, which was The Nightingale, and so far I think in both books she's like captured my attention so well, and she just has written such a great story. So maybe this might be a 5-star, I'm not sure. I definitely am thinking about it when I'm not reading it, so we'll have to see. I'll have to see what the ending is like. Hopefully there's going to be no tears, because I'm feeling like it's going to be a sad ending, and I just can't. After The Nightingale I was sobbing, I was not okay. I can't have that again. I just, please. This book is getting really sad, and I dislike the parents so much. They are just so frustrating people in completely different ways, but they're just so frustrating. The dad is obviously a horrible man, or he's turned into a horrible man. I just feel so bad for the main character Lenny. Like, the daughter, she has just been through so much, and she's still going through so much, and her whole life is just being ruined for her. and it's just getting really sad, and there's a really sad thing that's happened, and I've got this much left, and I just hope that it has a happy ending. Like, this is me saying right now, I fingers crossed that this has a happy ending, because if it doesn't, that's just too much. Like, it's just too sad. I just feel so bad for Lenny. It just got worse. Something big just happened, and now I'm just like, oh my god, she just can't catch a break. I just got back from doing the food shop, and on the way back in the car I managed to finish The Great Alone. I wasn't driving, obviously, just to preface that. I managed to finish The Great Alone by Kristin Hannah, and 5 star. 5 stars for this book. It was incredible, actually. It took me on the most insane roller coaster I've probably ever read in a book. I've probably like, oh, okay. I just feel like I need to gather my thoughts. I've just literally finished it, and I feel like I'm like coming straight on here with my very raw review, but I feel like it's one of them books that just nothing will ever compare. I will probably think about this book years down the line. It will probably remain in my favourites forever, to be honest. I just think that it's such an impactful and hard-hitting story, and it's definitely 100% going to stick with me, like The Nightingale will. I just feel like her books have such a great way of just being so impactful, and this one, it was literally like this the whole time. We had so many horrible moments, and then we also had so many great moments that were just like, you're so happy for the main character that you're just rooting for her the whole way through. And yeah, at one point I was maybe like that much towards the end, and I was like, things are not looking good. I'm so stressed out for her. I just want her to have a happy ending, and I was literally like praying that she was gonna get that. I just feel like, you know, this book goes like this. It's just crazy. I think it does such a good job of working through so many important themes and topics. Definitely check trigger warnings. There is a strong theme of abuse throughout this book, and I just feel like it explores the relationship that a mother has with her daughter. It explores love, honestly, as a theme throughout the book in so many different ways and so many different forms. I feel like love is talked about and love is represented, and I found that really interesting. It definitely made me stop to reflect on things, and we had like bad characters. I disliked her dad so much, but then we also had like morally grey characters. Like, so at points I was kind of like, you know, her mum is really stressing me out here. Her mum is kind of like making me a little bit confused, but then in the end you just do root for the mum as well. Like, you root for so many characters. It was such a great representation as well of living in a town that is so detached from reality, and how that can affect people, and how not being connected to the outer world can affect people. It can bring them together, but it can also push people away and push people to new extremes and make them into people that they weren't when they first went there. And yeah, I just think this is a 5-star read for me. It was incredible. The way that Kristin Hannah writes is just top tier. She just knows how to tell a story, and it just made me want to read so many more of her books this year. This is my second one from her, and hopefully I'll get to some more, but I do like to space them out because they definitely do take a toll, and they are a lot more upsetting than other reads. They're not light, they're not fluffy, they're very stressful and very sad, but this one was great for me. I can definitely see why it's one of the more hyped up Kristin Hannah books, so I would highly recommend it if you're looking to start reading from this author. And also, what a great choice from you guys. I think, what was the one in the poll with this one? I think it was The Fraud by Zadie Smith. I'm very, very glad that I got this one and finally got round to reading it. So I have you guys to thank for finding me a 5-star read. Another 5-star read, the first one of April. I'm so excited about this book. I just feel like I could recommend it for ever and ever and ever. It's update time. It is the next day now and I have started the second book for the video. So we have started The Play by Elle Kennedy. This one is the third book in the Briar You series and one I've been meaning to start for a while. I have actually made it 150 pages in, so that much of the way in, and so far I'm enjoying it. So far so good. I do enjoy this series, I just always forget about it and I always forget to pick up the next book, and that's why I've been in the middle of it for so long. If you didn't know what Briar You is, or you haven't heard of this series, it's kind of like a spin-off to the Off Campus series, which I haven't actually read, but I feel like that's the more popular series out of these two. The first one, which focused on Summer and Fitz, then the second book was Brenna and Jake, I believe, and then this one focuses on Hunter and Demi. So Hunter you kind of see throughout books 1 and 2. He's kind of had, there's this like whole thing that happens and he's been a little bit sad. He's not being himself, and you do see that in books 1 and 2. And then in this one we're finally getting his story, and I have actually really wanted to see his story from the start. He's just been a character that has intrigued me and I've really wanted to see sort of his love story. I don't know, I just feel like I've always wanted to see who he ends up with, and so far I'm enjoying it. I feel like this one's going to be a slower burn. I think it's like one of the chunkier books in the series. At the moment I feel like it's going to be a slow burn because we're seeing not really any romanticness going on, like no romantic vibes are happening. It's more just like a friendship, so I don't know if it's going to be more like friendship to lovers or just like a slow burn. Essentially we have Hunter who is abstaining. He is trying out some abstinence, if you will. He just doesn't really want to engage in that at the moment. He had something happen to him and then now he's just kind of like, I want to distance myself from that. I want to be a good team captain for the hockey team, and that's kind of his thing. He's also living with 3 girls. He's living with like his girlfriend, his old roommate's girlfriends, and he's just kind of like stressed. And then we have Demi, and she is on one of his courses. She's in the same class as him, and essentially they get teamed up by the class leader. They have to work on a research project together, so they're meeting up and they're doing this project together. They've never met before, they're kind of building a friendship, and I really like their banter. So we're seeing them together. She also has a long-term boyfriend who I have suspicions he is not a good guy. That is the premise at the moment. Obviously I'm not too far in, but I just can rely on Elle Kennedy for like a quick, fast-paced, easy, bingeable book. I'm going to read some more today, hopefully get halfway through, and I will update you guys soon. It is finally a nice day today. It was so cloudy yesterday and the day before, and I've been dying to read outside again. So it's now sunny and I'm going to sit down and read some of this book. I am currently on page 303, chapter 26. So I'm going to aim to get this book finished today, hopefully. So I'm going to sit down now, read it, and then I will update once I've finished it. So far I'm finding this quite cringe, but like in a good way, in a fun way, not in like a way where I'm like, oh, ew. More in like a, oh, this is quite cringe, but like it's giving, but like I'm embarrassed, but like it's fun, it's cute, it's a good time. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna try and sit down and like master quick reading and get through this book. Alrighty guys, it is the next day. I managed to finish the play last night, so I thought I'd just give my little review of this book. I also feel like this week is going on for so long. Why does this week feel so long? I feel like I started this reading vlog ages ago. Like, I've literally read 1 book since The Great Alone, but it feels like I read The Great Alone ages ago, and I'm just kind of like, okay, we're still only on Friday. Right, brilliant. But I'm still having a fun time. It just feels like this week, for some reason, is just so long, and I just don't know, I don't know why. But I did manage to finish the play. I'm gonna rate it a 3.5 stars. So this book gets a solid 3.5 stars from me, which I feel like it is just like, it was like a middle of the ground, like, good book. It definitely wasn't something that I will think about for a lot of the time down the line. And I do feel like Elle Kennedy's books are quite surface level in a way. Like, the romances that she writes always do feel very surface level, which, don't get me wrong, at the time when you're reading them, it's super fun, super engaging, super, you know, fast paced, and not every romance has to be super deep or anything like that, but I do feel like every single one of her books does feel very surface level. Like, so far, out of the 3 Briar Yu books I've read, every single romance has just felt quite, you know, one level. It's not like, I don't believe that the characters are even going to stay together after college or years down the line, to be honest. Like, even with the Icebreaker series, which is also like a college hockey romance series, I still believe that those characters would probably stay together down the line. I feel like even comparing 2 hockey romance series, the Icebreaker one, although it is also a super fun, super silly, super fast-paced and bingeable, those romances, even then, still felt more layered, whereas this series definitely feels a bit more cringe and a bit more just like one level. But I still had a good time. I just feel like a lot of the sayings in this book, I was like, oh, cringe. And I just don't even believe that these characters are in love. Like, I'm sorry, I felt like the love confession came out of left field. It was just so random to me. I was like, what? But it was still fun, and I need to remind myself that not every book has to be like super deep and you've learnt so many things about it. Like, sometimes you do just need a silly, goofy time. But if I was to recommend an ice hockey college romance, or just an ice hockey romance that's kind of the same vibe as this, I wouldn't recommend the Briar Yu series. I would definitely recommend the Vancouver Storm series or the Icebreaker series, I think, over this series. I just feel like those ones are kind of a bit more, you know, they're just a little bit better for me than this series. But that's not to say that I didn't enjoy this, and I definitely will be reading the last book, which I am anticipating. I feel like that one will be fun for when I'm in the mood for it. But yeah, this one was good. I'm finally glad to tick this off my TBR. And next up, you guys chose for me to read Love on the Brain. Obviously, this one was meant to be check and mate, but then circumstances changed, so we chose another Ali Hazelwood book, and we have landed with Love on the Brain. I'm very excited to read this one because, as you guys probably know, I am trying to complete my Ali Hazelwood backlist. I've been trying to read all of her books recently, so the last one I have to read after this one is the bind up of the novellas, and then I'm done, which is so fun. Like, my little Ali Hazelwood shelf looks so cute, and I have heard people say that this one is a fun time and it is enjoyable. So I love the Love Hypothesis. I rate that a 5-star. I loved Love Theoretically, that was like a 4.5 star. Not in Love was like I think that was a 4.5 star as well. So I tend to rate these books pretty high, and this one's quite thin and snappy, so fingers crossed. I'm honestly going in blind. I'm not too sure what this one is about. I'm seeing the word NASA. It's obviously a STEM romance. Is it like an internship at NASA, maybe? We'll have to see. I will check back in with some updates once I have read some of this book. But yeah, something about her covers. I think it's because she uses bright colours. I love. So I'm going to go now, get reading, and then I will check in with you guys later. Me again. I am on chapter 4, page 50, and it's giving rivals to lovers. It's giving, we've got some previous tension going on and we're not sure what. The main guy basically is really standoffish with the main girl, and he just seems to like really dislike her, and we don't know why. And I'm very intrigued to know what's going on there. She's starting a research program at NASA, and the other co-leader of the project is this guy, and they used to go to school together, I think, and so they already know each other, but they didn't get off on the right foot in school, so she thinks that he hates her, and we're trying to figure out why he's giving this like really off vibe. And I love a book like that. I love a book where they already knew each other and we don't know what. It's like miscommunication, but make it good. So far so good. everybody, it's the next day now and I've officially finished Love on the Brain and I loved it. I felt like this was such a cute romance and I loved the characters. I loved their journey to finding each other, and I am going to rate this book a solid 4 stars. A solid 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I do think that it is, out of all of her books, it is very similar to The Love Hypothesis in some ways. Let me know if you agree, if you've read this book and The Love Hypothesis. I do feel like they are similar on some levels, but honestly, because I read The Love Hypothesis so long ago now, I think over a year ago now, it didn't matter to me. Maybe if I read them back to back it would matter, but because I have spaced them out so drastically, it didn't really translate into anything that would be an issue. This book kind of has some, at first we have some tension and we're not sure where it's coming from, and we kind of are like, why is the main guy being rude? Why does he not like the main girl? And then as the story goes on we start to see why, and it's honestly really cute. I was like, oh, I love it. I love how Ali Hazelwood writes her characters together. They're always so quirky and I love that. They're always so like funny. There was some actual moments where I did laugh in this book, which I was very shocked by. And yeah, we had the tension at the start, and then we also have like a subplot of she's messaging this guy, or she has an alter ego account on Twitter, and there's another guy on there. They both have like out there usernames that are very different to their real names, and they're both messaging each other on there, and I'll let you fill in the blanks, because if you know, you know. But they're messaging on there. She has like this relationship with, well, like friendship with this guy online, and they kind of tell each other their problems, and they're telling each other like what's going on in their lives, and it's like miscommunication. They're not really getting that it's, you know, who it actually is behind the username, and I loved that aspect. And I just feel like you can never go wrong with an Ali Hazelwood STEM romance. They're so fun. I love seeing into the careers of women in STEM as well, because I am very much not a woman in STEM, so it's very nice and interesting to sort of see what it's like to be a woman in STEM. And I do feel like she does a great job as well of bringing in some themes of feminism and themes of, you know, the inequality of women who work in STEM, and I do enjoy that as well, because I think it's important, and I think, you know, it's not just a surface level romance. She does very much flesh out her female main character, and the way that she writes her male main characters is always just so mwah, because she just kind of writes them shy and like broody, but like not in a rude way, not in like a like don't really like this guy, he's just rude. More in like a, you can tell that they're really shy and they're really trying to like battle with their inner emotions and try to express themselves in a way that is, you know, nice. And they're really trying to overcome like their shyness and things like that. And the guy in this one, he did remind me of the Love Hypothesis guy. I can't remember what he was called. Was it Adam? I think. He reminded me of Adam, and I liked that because I really liked him as a character. I feel like they're sort of, they are shy and they don't know how to express their emotions, but they're really trying, and it's cute. And these guys had so much in common, so much chemistry. Like, I feel like they was the same person but in male and female form. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I have now officially completed my Women in STEM Ali Hazelwood collection, other than obviously, as I said, the novella bind up, which I will be getting to probably at some point this year. I do believe she's got a release coming out soon. Is it like a sequel to Bride, I think? Maybe I'll fact check for you guys. Yes, so she's got a book coming out in September, which is called Mate, and that is the, can we see? That is like the front cover. So it's a sequel to Bride, I believe. And then, has she got any other releases coming out, or is that the only one? Oh, she has got one coming out. It's called Problematic Summer Romance, coming out May 27th. How did I not know that this one was coming out? What is the cover? Wait, it's a sequel to Not in Love? It says Not in Love book number 2. Oh, I loved Not in Love. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh, and it's like going to be 416 pages, so it's not a novella. wow, this is groundbreaking news to me. There's not a cover online, I don't think, but I'm very excited to read that one, and I will 100% be doing a reading vlog, I think, on that book. Yeah, 4 stars for this book. And that is the end of the video. I have officially read all of the books that you guys voted for on my YouTube community section, and I've had some great reads this week, so thank you guys for picking them. I've had a 5-star, which was The Great Alone. I've had like a 3-star, but it meant that I was finishing or getting closer to finishing another series, which was The Play by Elle Kennedy. And then I've had a 4-star, which was a super cutesy fun time. You know, can't go wrong with a book like this. I think I want to do a video in the future where maybe you guys leave your most favourite books in like the comment section or something, and then I'll sort of create a list of all of the favourites that are in the comments and read some of those ones. Maybe I'll do one like that in the future, but this one was a super fun video for me. I've had such a great time reading this week. Thank you so much for voting if you did vote in the poll. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.